Hey guys, Badger here. Today we're gonna be building a high school. I went for like a modern vibe, and the first I tried building on this lot before this one, and I did like kind of like um a British manor mansion that was converted into a high school, but I ended up not liking it. I thought about putting that footage up in here, but there's kind of like no point. Anyways, I was going with the layout, trying to do a modern high school. I went on Pinterest looking at some inspiration. I'll put it up right here. So there's the inspiration. Um, right now we're doing the layout, and it's really a big lot. It was so daunting to do this. It was like freaking me out. When I saw this lot, I was like, whoa. And I've been putting off doing the high school, but I knew I had to get it done, so, might as well. So right now I'm just trying to play with the roof. Um, I ended up trying to go with the, and kind of the outline of the roof, but as you can tell, it's kind of like not looking pretty modern, so I filled it all in. And it took a while to get it copy and pasted onto the other side, but so I just ended up not doing the copy and pasting and tried just doing it manually. So here I am just doing it manually. Just the same thing on the other side, and I did it on the top there, and putting in some of that half wall so I can get that roof looking all nice. And I'm trying to go and I'm putting in some bricks on the building, and I think I ended up using these bricks. I tried to change it a couple times throughout the video, but these are the ones that I went with, and I put it around, and I used white as a secondary color. And I was trying to get some blue bricks, but we didn't have any because that's kind of the whole theme that I was going for throughout the video. As you can tell, I'm putting in red bricks, but no, none of those are blue, so I switched those out for the ones earlier. I think actually those might be the ones that I went with. But yeah, but I tried to go with that smoky gray vibe, kind of. And yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. I love it. You guys, let me know if you would have done the smoky gray or the other brick that I was doing earlier. There we go. I'm doing the outline, trying to get some variety going on. And my school is nothing like this. So honestly, this is a pretty um crazy cool school. So I hate how in The Sims we're not able to change the stairs to match exactly the floor. You can do it in Bloxburg, but not in The Sims, so that kind of sucks. Sorry if I sound a little British. I've been watching a lot of British YouTube recently, so I guess that kind of interfered. I pick up accents pretty easily. Um, yeah, I'm just trying to get that under roof thing to match. Okay, and I'm going on the path. We're going pretty fast. This is actually like really sped up. Like I took 7 hours of this footage, so this is like really sped up. And I'm putting in windows before I do the floor plan. I don't know why. I don't usually do windows before the floor plan, but I guess I am now. Yeah, just putting in the windows. And I ended up using these. I really like these. And I tried to switch out the doors so something that could match the windows and be tall enough, but nothing was tall enough. So I ended up getting rid of it and putting in um, the original door. And I put a little platform so it's high enough for tall enough. And here I am, I'm putting in all the windows and making it match on all the sides. And wow, it is just going super fast. Like this is unfathomably fast. Um, the most annoying part of building this high school is about you can't save it unless you have met all the requirements, which is kind of difficult. Well, not really difficult, it's just I don't want to have all my requirements is basically just like having stuff out. In the school you need to have like a whiteboard and you have all this, which I understand. But at least let me save my game before I get all these in, because of course I'm gonna get the requirements in, but I'm not gonna rush getting the requirements in, you know? Anyways, I'm putting in the windows and it's looking pretty good. I love the modern look. Um, and here I am. I'm doing the floor plan, which is looking pretty nice. it's a W floor plan, and here I'm testing out the tiles and the what colors of the walls outside because there's more light and it's easier to see. Sorry, I freeze every now and then, but it's been enough that you can't tell. Yeah, you guys, we're like 3 hours into the video, or like, yeah, you guys don't know how long it took me to spend to build this. It's literally took forever. Now, I know I have a lot of custom content, but I tried to stick with the stuff from high school years because I kind of like the vibe and it kind of fits the whole God, I can talk, the whole high school vibe. So that's why I'm not using a lot of custom content here. And when I was building this, I was also trying to keep it a little bit low on the decorations. So if it's a little bit less cluttered, then that's why, because so to reduce lag mostly, because this is a pretty huge building. And after this, I'm gonna have to go and build the auditorium, which is basically a part of the high school, which I'm not really looking forward to, but it has to get done. I'm just putting in the lockers. And you can see I'm going for the blue vibe, and yeah, those are the bathrooms, and I tried to do the facility doors. So women's bathroom and men's bathroom. Women's is always on the right, and men's always on the left for me. That now, not every building you're going to go to is going to be that way, but most of the time, for me, in my experience, it was that way, so that's how I did it throughout this entire high school. Some people said that doing the facility door where it's men and women, it kind of makes it hard, because if you put your sim to go into the men's, not knowing it was, you think it's the women's, it gets complicated, but it's whatever. And yeah, it's good to have like bathrooms like pretty close to every classroom, but I kind of just did one on each floor if you found the locker rooms, which I did in the basement. We'll talk about more about that later. So I'm putting in the bathrooms, not really a dirty bathroom, I'm just doing generic vibes. It's a brand new high school, whatever, so it's gonna be pretty clean. Um, and I'm trying to make the lights match all throughout the building. And here I am. I'm just building rooms, sort of generic vibes. I didn't really decide on what the rooms were gonna be until later in the video, so I'm just putting in some walls and trying to create the hallways, which I didn't furnish until the end of the video. Now, I was gonna do some sitting areas in the hallways, but I think the cafeteria does its good job, and I don't want anyone eating anywhere else other than the cafeteria. Um, so now I'm doing the floor plan for the upstairs. And it's looking pretty good, not gonna lie. Putting in some doors and some frames to connect the hallways to the main house. Those little side areas are gonna be the stairs. You probably didn't see them. We're going really fast, so it's hard to describe because every time I describe something, it just goes, the camera just moves. So that's gonna be the cafeteria area, and we're just again staying with the stuff from high school years because it's more colorful, it more matches the vibes, easy. It's just overall made to fit together and work together and be high school vibes. Um, put the food station, and I had to make the stairs a little bit smaller. And I was gonna put the microwave on the table, but I remembered it wouldn't let me place microwaves on tables, so I just had to put counters. And that's gonna be where the classrooms are. And I did the same classroom. We only need 2 classrooms. And in this game, there's no such thing as English class or math class. It's just one class you go to, and they say it's math class or it's English class, but one day this could be the math class, another day this could be the English class, so I didn't really stick to a vibe, and there's no decoration, so try to keep it pretty simple. And here I am, I'm putting in tables. And honestly, the principal's desk, I really wanted to use for the teacher's desk because it fits the vibe of the desk, but I couldn't because it's obviously the principal's desk, so that kind of sucks. Now that's the principal's desk. And I tried to put a desk on top of it. It worked because I used BB.move objects. I don't know if it's going to work gameplay wise, but I hope it does. Anyways, I put a little desk on top of the desk that is already there, so it looks better. And I'm putting in another chair. And honestly, part of me wishes that I put a little bit more time in decorating it, but that would be pretty glitchy. And it's a pretty big high school, and last time I tried to do decorating, it wasn't pretty even, it was kind of just messy, so I just did some generic vibes. It's a pretty new high school, so I might do updates in the future. I might. I'm not guaranteeing that, but I'm saying I might. And I'm changing out the chairs so it looks like it's more comfortable. Because if there's two classrooms, why not spend more money on the chairs? Usually just like couches, so if you're in the principal's office or in trouble, you get somewhere to sit. Maybe someone else is in trouble, they're talking to the principal. Okay, we're going really fast. And I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with these rooms, and that's going to be the teacher's lounge. We're putting in a fridge and a little bit of some counters so you can get a coffee machine in there and all that stuff. I tried to fit that in there, but it wouldn't fit, so I had to move it. And there's a trash can. Um, Putting in some couches, and I put in some tables later. So I was gonna do the navy blue, but I went with more of a lighter blue, so it's more gender neutral. And there's tables in the middle, so you can eat your lunch there. Here is where we're gonna do, yep, putting in some vending machines, I believe. And I put the computer back in there, as I forgot I put the computer in there. And I'm just going in and I'm putting in stuff that's high school stuff related. So I'm going in and I'm putting that in. There's vending machines. And I'm putting in these doors, and that's going to be the library. And I did a two-story library, which is kind of nice. And I tried to go with, my instinct was to make it pretty dark in here, but I wanted to go with the lighter vibe because it's more modern and it fits the rest of the build. So I ended up, I believe, changing these bookshelf colors, or the wood color, in the floors. And I love how each room kind of feels different, but it feels the same at the same time. So I kind of took that vibe around the entire place. I was going to say apartment because I'm so used to building apartments, you guys. I have a apartment problem. I really do. Um, yeah, I'm really liking this library. Honestly, I think it's my favorite part of the build. I'm curious as to what your favorite part of the build was. For me, it's definitely this library. And this place just has an astonishing view. It's wonderful. I love building in this world. Like, there's my two favorite worlds are San Monsignor and this world that comes with high school years because they both have wonderful views. And for me, I really like building places with wonderful views. If it has an ugly view and it's like in a suburb, I don't like building it, you guys. I do not like suburbs. I hate suburbs. This is the nurse's office, and I put in some beds, so if your sim comes to the high school and they're pretty tired, then they can just use those. I forgot to publish this on the gallery, but I need to get my Sims 4 account name changed, so it's not my actual name, which is kind of hard to do, so I'm not going to be putting anything on the gallery until I get that done. And I'm putting in some seating, so if you go to the nurse office but you're not really that sick enough to be on the bed, then you can just sit on the chair. And honestly, I did do a high school before this one. That was before the one I did that wasn't filmed at all. And that was the one that was pretty dirty and messy and had a bunch of clutter and it was glitchy and it was not the right vibe. And it had a pretty small nurse office and it had no bathroom, so I kind of fixed that and I learned from my mistakes. Here's the counselor's room. Um, I tried to make it calm in here, but I tried to stay away from girly stuff because, again, if you're toxic masculinity, no man's gonna want to come in here. You don't really get to use counselors or nurses' rooms in the game, and it's not really a requirement, but I'm putting it in there anyways because there's so much rooms in here and you have to fill them, so yeah. Here, I believe, I'm just trying to figure out what I'm gonna do for the rest of the rooms. So it's kind of complicated, but we're going pretty fast. Here's the bathrooms. I put upstairs and downstairs bathrooms. And, give me a second. What's next? I believe this is the art room. I'm not too sure, but I believe it is. Going around all over the place. Putting in some canvases. And just stuff that makes it usable. And I try to keep this skill building. So if you need to go do some skill building, just come on to the high school. Those are actually kids' tables, but I really like the vibe, and it kind of goes with the artsy vibe, so I put it in there. I don't know if it's usable, but I guess it's kind of decoration. Here's the basement, and I'm trying to keep it with the gym vibe. This is where your gym's gonna be, your basketball stuff, your pool, all that stuff in here. I was gonna do a coach's office, but I didn't really want to. Maybe I'll do it later in a future update, but I don't want to do it right now. And I'm trying to get some good wood. I was gonna do a wood in like the basketball area and do blue flooring in the rest, but I couldn't really get that to work. So I'm just putting in some bricks so it looks nice. And basketball hoops. I don't know why everyone's gym in the school all is just a basketball stadium. It's just weird for me. Now I'm putting in that ceiling. There's gonna be the pool. And after this, I kind of made the basement pretty closer to the ground. So it kind of ruined my porch, and I fixed that off camera. But that was a problem that I had. So if you ever build a basement, make sure it's pretty low to the, like, how do you say this? Like, lower in the earth. I don't know if you can see it right now, but it kind of messed with my stairs. Or I probably fixed it by now. I don't know. But here is going to be the music room, and I tried to do something that looks like it's a soundproof kind of vibe, and I just went in and I put in some music stuff. So this is the band room. They didn't have any trombones and nothing. All the skill building stuff isn't requirements. All the requirements are just a classroom, and I don't even know if the base high school has any skill building areas. And here is, I believe, to be the kitchen area, kitchen class. So I did little cooking stations, and it's pretty nice. I did some cooking stations for the students. I don't remember how many there are, and I can't count them right now because we're going so fast. The teacher station is closer to the fridge, and I put a public or community dishwasher. So here you can practice your cooking skill. And people say that if you have a cooking class, then people will try to go and cook their own lunch in the cooking class, which I have a problem with, but we'll try to keep it to where it doesn't do that. Here's the science class. I did it in the opposite of the cooking class and the big rooms. So here's all the science stuff. Well, not really the science class, but it's the lab class. I would say lab because you don't really go to class in any of these skill rooms. These are just for after school and skill building. Moving on, we're gonna have the computer lab right after this. Give it a second. There it is. Okay, we're putting in some desk and some computers, some chairs, just so you can get your gaming, writing, whatever skills you want up there. You can get that done. Um, Putting in some floors, and that's it for the computer lab. I put some gaming mats in there, so you can have like a gaming class, computer lab, coding, all that stuff. Here is where the handiness area is going to be, so you learn how to do woodworking. Over here is the photography area, so you go to take your school pictures, and maybe it's a photography class, but I don't know. I guess use it for what you want to use it for. There's a chess room. Yeah, there's a chess room. Pretty straightforward, just a chess room. And I ended up filling the rest of the rooms with just lights and leaving it empty for future updates because I didn't even know what to put in them. I literally didn't. If you have any ideas, please let me know in the comments, and I'll see if I can get that in there. Going back to the gym area, a video is about to end after this, and it's going pretty fast, so just aware. And I'm putting the lockers in the hallways, and you can actually use these as lockers. So there they are. They're going in the hallways. Um, and these are going to be, on the left and right, are going to be the locker rooms. Sorry for the pause. Just give it a minute, it's almost over with the pause. There it is, we're back. Okay, we're putting in lights, and there's the locker rooms. And here's another pause, I'm sorry about that. Just give it a minute. It's almost over. Okay, we're back. Here's the gym. I believe that's the gym. I think it's the gym. Oh no, that's the locker rooms. Okay. And I'm putting in some bathroom stalls and all that stuff. It's going in there. And in the back, I put some showers. So this is your showering area, and I put walls to separate them. Um, Here you go. You get your gym equipment. And I do believe I put a shower in the nurse's office, but that's kind of off topic. I have a joke, I believe. Oh yeah, the photography room. I love how it's pretty close to the video's almost over, so this is kind of just there we go. Anyways, sorry for the black screen. The photography room is actually pretty close to the counselor's room, so maybe if you take your school picture and you don't really like it and you're chopped, then you can go to the counselor's room to go get mental help. um, I don't know if that was funny or not, but I guess. Anyways, that's the high school build. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and I'll see you tomorrow. Or, not tomorrow, I'm sorry. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for more content. Have a good rest of your day. I'm gonna